First off, shout out, I had to rep the whole crew, Film Red, you know how it is, Zoro, Robin, Nami, Sanji, and that boy Luffy. But today, before we get the next chapter out, this video will be going up. Shanks finally did it. Oda finally did it. Oda finally went out and did it. Oda finally put guild darts in the show with his brother, Shanks. He finally put his twin inside the show. I am so glad Fairy Tail and One Piece came together and finally made something that is going to be crazy going forward. I'm just kidding though. But we do want to talk about Shanks' twin brother. If it is a twin brother, and we want to see if Shanks is actually, Shanks, or if Shanks the bad guy we all think it is, or was his twin brother that's the bad guy, and Shanks is the good guy. And I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about it. I've been looking at a lot of theories myself, and I even had the thought when watching it. I forgot to mention it inside of our inside the chapter review, but Shanks. Is Shanks actually going to be evil or good, or is this twin of Shanks? Let's get right into it. We'll tell you about it. I'm gonna tell you about it. Let's get into it though. All right. So starting off, the evidence that is just not piling up or making sense to me is Shanks. How can he be everywhere? One of the first times that we've seen like the super speed from Shanks or the Griffin, his ship that they travels on him, his red hair pirates. Want to see, is this something that is that a speed that the boat is the speed of light? Like Kaido's where they intercepted Kaido at versus where the Marine Fort is kind of crazy to me, because you go into it thinking like, okay, maybe, just maybe, they cut him off close enough to where Shanks only took 2 hours to get there to Marineford. But if you're thinking about it or not, there were like, oh, honestly, he was probably cut off before he left the entire border of Wano. Like he was probably cut off then, him and his crew. And I want to see like how does Shanks get from fighting Kaido to the Marineford in the blink of an eye. And he didn't have any scars on him, any scratches. He wasn't still panting because he was out of breath. We know that Kaido is strong. Kaido is one of the 4 emperors of the sea. Kaido went toe to toe with a lot of great pirates. So you mean to tell me that Shanks and the rest of the red hair pirates wouldn't have a single scratch on them? Now Luffy got beat. I'm sure base Luffy, before we got, the Nika Fruit and all the upgrades throughout Wano, I'm pretty sure he can hang with some of the people up on Shanks' crew. Or, like the low tier levels of Shanks' crew. But even he was beat by a drunk Kaido. He had to die just to beat Kaido. So looking at it right now, it's like Shanks and his entire crew can't be that strong. They're either on a completely different level, or they're really them. This is like really them. This is that pirate crew. They're themothy. So Shanks shows up, nothing wrong with him. So whether that's the first thing right there I thought about, could that have been Shanks' twin that intercepted Kaido and was just making sure that he didn't show up, and Shanks actually is the one who was going directly towards Marineford? Or is there something else going on inside there? Yeah, later on down the line, as Shanks showed up, of course, him and his crew are untouched. You don't see any of them out of shape, out of breath, or whatnot. And they show up, stop the war. Shanks comes right in, stops Akainu from killing Kobe, basically. Shanks makes his whole speech, fabulous speech, by the way, and says, if any of you want to keep battling, looking at both the entire Marines and Blackbeard pirates, if you want to tangle with somebody, come tangle with us. Since the government killed Ace and Blackbeard pirates ended up killing Whitebeard, they're still a combined force next level. I don't think the Shanks pirates are that different, that they're like that. Probably like maybe Blackbeard pirates didn't want to tangle with Shanks' crew, but then again, the Marines had something crazy to say. So Sengoku states, since it's you, red-haired, I'll take responsibility for it. as Shanks asks to take the bodies of Whitebeard and Ace to go bury them. Why does Sengoku owe Shanks so much of anything? Like, why is that even a thing? Could it be that his brother is such a high up that he lets him kind of like slide through with it? Or what could it be that made Sengoku stop the entire war himself from his Marines all backing up? And you got a fired up Akainu. He's ready to go and backs up to get with the other 3 admirals with Kizaru and Akiji. But he's still ready to go. And Sengoku says, no, we're going to stop. Why is Shanks's next levelism so high up that nobody wants to tangle with him? Of course, you know, Oda doesn't want to reveal how strong the crew is just yet. Not to mention that we seen Shanks pop up on Whitebeard's ship. Whitebeard stated, every time I see you, Redhead, that wound that he gave me hurts. It's looking at Shanks like looking at Shanks' twin brother now. And if that is so, did Shanks' twin brother really wound Whitebeard that bad? And that's why Whitebeard gets so much pain or agony or just hatred bottled up inside him, inside that scar that's on his body, because of what Shanks' twin brother did to him. And that's why he says, every time I look at you, Redhead, that scar hurts. And speaking of scars, Odin was asked, because remember when Shanks went to talk to the 5 elders, the girls say, whatever you want to call them, he went to go talk to them, and they only showed a side of his face and didn't show a lot behind it. So we couldn't see the scar, we couldn't see if the arm was gone, it was just there. And Oda was asked also, why did you forget to draw Shanks' scar? And that's when the whole world went crazy about it and started thinking that, oh, Shanks has something going on, you know, Shanks is a twin, he's evil or whatnot, a different side of him, and everything that going on. But what if, in all honesty, Oda just forgot to draw the scar, which is what he said. But they censored out a comment inside there, or an answer per se. Did Oda really forget to draw one of the most powerful characters inside One Piece's scar for real? Did he honestly forget to draw that scar of one of the most dangerous members in One Piece? I don't know. Something seems a little bit fishy. And then we have the whole thought about, does Shanks have a twin brother? So we go back to look at how Shanks and Gildarts were split up at birth, and one of them stayed in the One Piece world while the other one went over to the fairy tale world. I can't even say that with a straight face. In all seriousness, Shanks was on God Valley when Roger fought Roxy Zebek. Of course, we all know that Roxy Zebek's thought process behind everything is that he wants to destroy the world government and reform the world into a lawless pirate world, like what we see with somebody else. And because Zebek was there, could it mean that since Roger was fighting Zebek and ended up taking Shanks because he was found in a treasure chest, take Shanks with him, that the twin was left on God's Valley or found by Marines raised inside the world government judicial system and was promoted into the ranks to become a God Knight, or, you know, a Holy Knight, however you want to put it like that. The Holy Knights are who we see now. Because of this, we thought about it a lot, that Shanks, of course, Figalarlin, last name type thing, like could you be a distant member of them or whatnot? Is the Figalarlin just the name title, and then you guys were actually split up as twins, and one actually did go and serve the world government? It's a whole lot of questions that we have to ask now, and it's just just trying to get pieced together now. I know we don't have that much time left in One Piece, so of course Shanks is going to get, you know, more of a backstory coming through with it. We're going to see what probably happened, and even possibly get the animated version of God Valley. But people think that Shanks was the man that showed up and actually spoke to the 5 girls as well. But of course we didn't see the arm or the scar that was on his body. So could that have been the Holy Knight lookalike twin brother type thing with Shanks? Or could that have been that Shanks showing up as a God's Knight, as a silhouette popped up, was the person who actually showed up there, was Shanks' twin brother, and when he showed up, he was also the person who was that silhouette that we seen in the most recent chapter 1083 of One Piece, and was actually a clone. Remember, we just saw Stutzy's clone. Because we did see Stutzy's clone, anybody could get cloned. Dr. Vegapunk and what he's doing on Egghead Island. Dr. Vegapunk is cloning. He made the Seraphs. Like, that's literally the clone of what Lunarian Bloods and people with like that high power. So we seen the warlords inside there. So why couldn't we see the Emperors as well? I mean, he did do test studies on Kaido. So we could see Kaido's return as one of them. But also Shanks. Like Shanks we can see as being a part of that cloning process that Vegapunk made. And this is just, that's who God's Knights are. The God's Knights are all just the original form of clones that are set there to actually protect and destroy whoever comes up there. And they're based off of emperors or of the sea or anything like that at all. Because inside the silhouettes that we seen 10 people inside there. I believe it was 10. One of them looked like that he had on like a armor plate. He was in the backside of it. And then we seen a guy standing just like Shanks. Or it could be the whole thing where Oda does to us, where he shows, a silhouette of a character that looks nothing like them, like Kaido, for instance. And then pops up later on down the line. And boom, what do you know? This is who Kaido actually look. This is who Kaido actually is. A completely different beast than what we've seen him to be. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm gonna close it out right here with this. What do you guys think below? Is Gildarts really inside One Piece and being used as a clone of Shanks? Or is this, something that is going on a government level? Is Shanks actually have a twin brother? Is Shanks going to be evil, the good side of him? What's the whole thing going on? And the last thing I have to say is that Shanks, with the whole 5 elders, stated that now is a good time to go after him, I believe, or go after them, or now is a good time to do something. But it was a complete opposite, or it could be like a thought that was inside his head that because he knows that Shanks knows what the One Piece is, what was going on inside his head, and Shanks stated that now it's about time after he stopped, Green Bull, he stopped Green Bull from the coast of Wano, and Green Bull was in the prison, Udon prison. He stopped him like that with just his haki alone. But could the will of Shanks be connected to his twin's will? His twin is trying to either stop him, or could Shanks actually be the person that was going around doing everything, and Shanks is actually a holy knight and we just don't know it, and his 10 commanders as part of his crew are all holy knights with him. We'll figure out how it is and how it goes, but we do want you guys to stick around for more 12-16 content. 16 is coming to you guys strong with funny reacts. So stay tuned for everything to come. We'll see you guys every Sunday now at 3. We're going to try to make it 3 p.m. Central Time to go over our podcast and make sure you guys get the best of anime from us. Stay tuned for more One Piece. Stay tuned for Demon Slayer. Stay tuned for anime and pop culture. And we'll see you in our next video. 12 out.